I remember when this game first came out. I thought it was a funny, gimmicky type of game, and I would watch videos and streams of people playing it, watch them get frustrated, get annoyed at the commentator, Bennett Foddy.
You are no saint. You are not better than me, just because you made a bullshit game.
Sorrow is my own yard, where the new grass flames as it has flamed often before.
I never really paid attention to what he was saying. Maybe I would watch just the last 30 seconds or so of a run where someone actually made it to the top, or just a highlight video of them falling. Then I would just move on, play some other game, watch some other video, and that was that. That's where this game remained for me in my mind until about a year ago when I found this video. After coming across it, I realized that maybe this Bennett guy has some interesting things to say, which I realize now is silly because nearly the entire video is him reading quotes by other people. But I began to look up videos of people playing the game like I did years ago, but this time for the express purpose of listening to the commentary Bennett provides throughout the game. During this time in my life, I was nearing the end of taking a class called Discrete Math, and while I enjoyed it more than any other math class I had taken until then, it was also the most time I had ever devoted to a class. It was difficult, and I wasn't quite getting the results that I wanted. I would spend countless days in the library, for hours doing practice problems, reading, attempting to write proofs, and this video sort of served as a strange source of motivation for me. I would listen to the video while making breakfast, while walking to the library, while walking back to my apartment, over and over. What was so appealing to me was the nature of the quotes that he was reading, about embracing frustration, embracing pain, embracing failure. And I think in that moment, it's what I needed to find some contentment during that semester, to listen to someone so lovingly talk about struggling, finding joy, beauty, and even happiness in failing. During that time, I had no issue with this. I was happy to simply consume videos of others playing for the commentary. As Bennett Foddy says,
Now I know, most likely you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, while some dude with 10 million views does it for you, like a baby bird being fed chewed up food. That's culture too.
After all, the game came out years ago. I had watched it be played, listened to all the commentary, what else was there to gain? But I kept coming back to its message so often. I felt like even though I had technically seen and heard everything that the game has to offer, there was still something more there. About a year later, I actually had some time to do some struggling myself. Because of all of this build-up before I actually began playing the game, I took extra care to make sure I could feel the experience of playing it clearly. You might be like me. I really enjoy listening to other things while I play video games. Music, podcasts, YouTube, anything, really. This extends beyond just games. Whenever I'm walking, cooking, any idle activity. Lately, I've tried to become better at having time to have no stimulation. And because I'm invested in hearing the audio, I decided to play the game without listening to anything else. Which might sound silly, that's not the norm, but it's the truth. Outside of a few games, it's normal that I will listen to other things while playing them. I was also inspired to do this by this video, this person who goes 3 months without listening to any music. Now, this is not something that I intend to do at all, but one of the messages that she talks about in that video is that listening to music can sometimes confuse your emotions, exacerbating or minimizing positive and negative feelings. And especially with this game, that's not what I wanted. Instead, I simply sat and listened to the wind blow and the grunts of the man. It also increased the impact that the commentary had on me, as it was now more rare for me to receive audible stimulus. I was also not distracted by listening to other things, meaning that the falls and the triumphs felt all the more real to me.
Sorrow is my own yard, where the new grass flames as it has flamed often before, but not with the cold fire that closes round me this year. William Carlos Williams.
And speaking of real, that seems to be one of the main points that Bennett emphasizes in this game. Every single obstacle in this game is real in the physical sense. there is a tree. You simply must get over the tree. The obstacles are exactly what you see. There is no leveling up, no new weapons or items to get, no secret passcode that you have to find to unlock the next level. There is just the raw obstacle. How exactly is progress made in this game? I think this quote from him stands out to me as perhaps the most foundational.
You fell from above, but I know you won't linger here. Your hammer's no longer, your jump is no stronger, but your hunger will tell.
There is also this comment that points out another way that he communicates this at the very beginning of the game. Consider a person who just began the game, but they're somehow teleported halfway up the mountain. Has this person made more progress than someone who's played for a few hours, maybe gotten halfway up, but has now just fallen down to the start? This is remarkably similar to climbing and bouldering in real life. You can climb halfway up a route, fall all the way down, and your progress is not zero. The real progress is not how far you are up the mountain, but the experience you gain from climbing. This message applies to more than just physical acts. Recently, I moved from college to another city across the country, and again I find myself in a familiar situation. I'm alone, I have no social circle. Once again, I have to start over. I've fallen down the cliff, and yet it's not such a zero-sum thing. Give someone a circle of friends, and then take that away. The result is not just that person's prior self before they had that community. A final thing that I want to note about this game that emphasizes this is that whenever you fall down in this game, the game checks how far you've fallen. If it's sufficiently far, a quote or a line from Bennett will play. What's interesting is that the distance required before a voice line plays seems to grow the more times you fall. And this, I think, speaks to the respect that Bennett Foddy has for the player. He believes that the more that you've gone through, the less external motivation you need to continue playing the game. Something that he used to react to, he used to encourage you through, is something that you will just continue in spite of today.
Even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so must you know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. Khalil Gibran.